Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. If you're just joining us, my name's Lana Bashinsky. I'm a senior animator here at Riot Games. And if you are sticking with us, I'm so glad that you're still hanging out with us. We are having so much fun over here on our end. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream as much as we are. I think I might have forgotten to say it for all of the people who submitted their amazing work for the demo reels. But again, please, capital rats in the chat for everybody so far, all the people with amazing demo reels. And now for the one and only Jason Hendrich with IP Creative.
Oh.
Go ahead, take it away.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
My mic working. Oh, it's working. It's live. I'm doing it live. All right. So yeah, IP Creative. We basically collaborate with a ton of studios for Riot Games for cinematics, videos, that sort of thing. But every now and then we get to handle some of the champion promos and videos like that, like more hands-on, and going to show you from hopefully from start to finish, and maybe some like oddities that kind of throw together in terms of like pitches and things that I created for the team to help showcase some things. So
I think I sent you the link to the sync sketch that we'll be using.
Oh, you did? Oh my God.
I'm gonna pin your face, and then I'm gonna make some little tweaks. I'm gonna make this window slightly smaller, and I'm actually gonna close this all and put you over here, and then
I'm like a little leaning.
I'm gonna make you tiny. Oh shoot! I can't believe I made myself say shoot instead of swears.
Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, this one, and then make it. Oh my gosh! There we go. This is is this good? Now your face is kind of gone, but at least you can see. I'll change it.
I'm not that important. It's more about the cool nutty stuff that we can see in here.
Very professional mic, Jason, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I've had this for a while.
Which mic are you using? Are you using the one next to your mouth, or are you using the one?
I actually accidentally had both
mics.
set up, so I sounded like the voice of God sometimes, but I don't think people appreciated that.
I like it.
Both going.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, I guess I could just like open up like what would be good to start with. I guess I could probably go with things I actually did prior to joining Riot. I actually worked on one of the first cinematics that Riot worked with an outside studio, and this is the shot that I was working on. And hopefully it's not too fuzzy. This is the best footage I had, and it's probably been compressed, recompressed, pulled out, this and that, so it should be fine. And this was animating Ari. And I'll just explain what the process is. Oh my God, there's audio.
oh my gosh. Do you want me to mute the audio for all of them? I'm sorry, stream. I have to take a bio break. I have to pee so bad.
No, I can mess with it. Yeah, no, I kind of like the audio for some of them.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it quiet because I think the audio will only be on my end.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, I have audio control. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll be back. Do your thing. I'll be back, y'all. Sorry.
All right, it's awesome. So yeah, we'll just go through it. So I mean, this is the context of this shot is basically, let's get to a good part. This is the moment where Ari's being chased by Darius and friends, and this is the moment where she's had it. This is her power moment. She is doing what she needs to do to take control of the situation. So this is generally when you're working on a shot, like you're basically given layout by like the layout department. So in this shot, you can see Ari doing a lot of things, throwing her fireballs. One of the interesting things is that like a lot of studios and things outside of Riot, like they generally don't really understand the champion's background. So in this case, for the layout, if you notice, like Ari doesn't actually fly in game. So this is my first pass, like doing that without knowing that. So she's kind of like bouncing around like a crazy person. So it's not like necessarily bad animation, but it's almost like as if Ari is like a dancer, right? It's like, looks okay, I guess, but doesn't really reflect who the character is. So one of my homework assignments was to basically play League of Legends a little bit, and then kind of found out like, oh, actually that doesn't really resemble Ari at all. And this was my second pass taking it. So it's like, oh, she actually kind of does little dashes. And she throws magic balls. That's what these little balls are supposed to represent. And we do a lot of things like kind of break the body. Like this pose, her head actually is unnaturally posed this way because the line of action, it helps like read the direction of where she's going. It's like her neck's busted. She'd probably be dead by now, but that's okay. Audience, it works for the audience. We go in. She's stretching. Her arm is oddly, unusually long, but it's stretching into the location where she needs to go. It locks. It gives us a place of reference for when the rest of her body follows. Then we do a nice anticipation, kick off, hand press, pushes off. Head's broken, but that's okay because the flow of action gives, that's like a bad line. Flow of action gives like a nice twirly sensation. And then she throws. And then we have to add the other tails, which was a real pain in the butt. A neat trick that I found with Ari was that when she goes through heavy motions, having the tails morph into one helped a lot. See, it's like a nice little cheat. That's how it went from 9 tails into 1. And the reason why you do that is that because of motion blur, line of action, like something like that reads a lot better than like all sorts of craziness. Like you don't want like an octopus coming at you. You need to have like a good sense of motion. So when Ari's in motion and the tail kind of morphs into 1. She plus Darius. Similar to here, it's rendered. And then when she stops, tail explodes into 9. Boom. Similar to here, moves like a nice fan. Nice clean shapes. And oh my God. Low quality, but hopefully you get the idea that it's kind of like just like a big line of action. I remember when I actually worked on this, originally I wanted her to spin like 1,000 times, but I think that was a little too crazy.
So I don't know if we're just chiming in and asking you questions as this goes along.
Yeah, go crazy. Yeah, no, like I don't,
So, I recently worked on a skin for Ari, and it was, I mean, we have a little bit of help with we have some tools that allow us to do a little bit of drag on the tail. So we'll get like some general positioning in, and then you add, we call it jiggle. Then you throw the jiggle on there, and it lets it kind of settle and follow in a way. Did you have that kind of support while you were doing the cinematic work on the tails? Or it was like all hand key tails?
It's all hand key. Like that's one of the things, like having like somewhat automated or like controlled secondary is, oh my God, it's a godsend, because something like this probably wouldn't take too long. Like if using the tools I have now, like if I had jiggle for the tail, this would be pretty fast, but this took such a long time because her tail was basically a character in itself, like just by how long it took to pose out and make sure the curves are clean. But yeah, it's just funny how something simple, well, not simple, but as fast and motiony like this just takes a long time.
Yeah. Hazy Hops in the chat said that sounds like hell. And it was for me. I assume it was for you even more so.
Oh no, it's awful. Yeah, but it's like it's kind of like I guess if you're cooking and you're probably doing something odd, like waiting for the yeast of bread to rise, like waiting those hours just makes it worth it type of thing. For this, it's like at least I respect what some automated things like our jiggle controls handle, because it's like it's really nice knowing that it's there. And it's also nice knowing that if it isn't there, I could still brute force it, even though I probably wouldn't want to.
I guess the good thing about that not having jiggle is you can really hone in on the pose. You have full control over it, which I would still prefer to have that kind of tech, but at least you had full control over all of her poses. There was no kind of automated in betweens. It was all you. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, you have to like wait for it to render too.
Yeah.
That's the difference between like gameplay animation. I think it's actually one of the biggest differences is that when you're doing like some like high res piece or shot, sometimes what you're working on just isn't like real time. You actually have to like plan like not just like, I mean, of course you plan things out in doing gameplay, but the feedback and real time feel like the real time feedback is such a blessing that you kind of lack that doing something that's like higher res where you basically have to like look at the play blaster or like a video of what you created, take down notes, watch it a couple of times, and then do as many of those notes and fixes that you think you need to do without like play blasting or like reviewing it until the next time, because like doing a review could take like 30 minutes to chunk out something that's presentable for you to like look at.
Dang.
Jason, I want to make sure you get through your thing, but I was going to ask a question from the chat that was relevant, which was Slender Doodles asked a question along the line of how do you balance like this kind of very stylized animation that you're being asked to do here, but doing it on these like what are essentially really realistically proportioned characters that you sort of have expectations about how they move. Can you talk at all about that?
I mean, as you can see, like right here, this is my first pass. Like, I feel like I failed in how Ari moves. So that's something where you really have to know the subject matter, and then also like interpret it into a realistic sense. So like since Ari's kind of in a realistic idea and motion, for Ari, I found doing a ton of recovery frames and recovery time. So like she kind of zips around. That's what adds believability to it. So even though like no one can really do woo, like if the recovery time is pretty high, it's kind of like acceptable. Like in a lot of like, I guess like Japanese animated shows, it's a similar concept of timing where it's like fast, super fast, snappy to slow. So it's almost like going like super fast and then you go in slow-mo, super fast, slow-mo. And that kind of timing, for whatever reason, like helps like solidify a lot of the ideas and motions, and I guess translates some of the like the in-game look that you have involved to like a more of a realistic setting. We can, I guess we've been looking at this one for a while. I can also look at a pitch that I did. This is when I was working on TFT. And this is something where I don't know about other people, but when I do pitches, I just kind of like just grab random things and like add silly music, like just anything I can get my hands on. Like it's nothing to do with it's just like with the studio. It's just something that I whipped together. And so this is like just Pengu being a little goof. So I forgot what this was for, but I think it was just me trying to figure out like what the little guy was when I was on TFT. Yeah.
So cute.
And I think this is like an example, like if you're doing like, if you notice like in terms of animation, he's actually not really doing a whole lot. So he's just standing there, does like a little motion, does a spin, and then lands. But what makes it kind of work is that I'm using a sound effect to help motivate the edit. So here, I got like a little whoosh, and that's what kind of helps the zoom in. And the little squeak of the camera bouncing off the tummy.
Oh, I have this sound muted. One sec.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Do it again. Wow.
So that's like big difference, right? It's like having the jiggle sound effect is actually carrying this cut more than anything I'm doing. Of course, like the little jiggle of the tummy is helping, but the sound effect is actually what's motivating the cut. Same with the eye blink. Like he's not even moving. See, like there's not even a pixel moving. So I guess this would be an example of using audio to help motivate action, at least in terms of the camera. Just do it again.
Did you work on the? Sorry, did you work on the trailer for TFT? It's kind of similar, right?
Oh my God, yeah. Do I have that in here?
I remember it being Pengu and Garen, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid to open this one. I don't know what that one is. That looks. I know. Okay, well, I can show the Samira. So, well,
Yeah, let's
maybe I
show
can
Samira,
show
because
that.
we can show TFT stuff in the next panel too.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, what am I doing? Yeah.
What are you doing?
I know what. So okay, for Samira, like basically, the gameplay contacted Creative to kind of come up with something. So this was more or less my pitch that I kind of whipped together before we didn't have audio support or anything like that. So this is just me like just getting a bunch of random stuff and putting it together.
Amazing. I'm going to mute this because I don't know if we own that music.
Oh, that's a good point. So probably one of the biggest probably the biggest comment on working on this was that it didn't feel like a League character because of the graphical elements I've been using. It kind of feels like something that would be in Valorant. Probably doesn't help just because I just prior to this I was working on a Valorant thing, so it probably helped. It's like, oh yeah, this is like where my mind space was in terms of graphical elements. But yeah, so we actually kind of kept a lot of this. So I can go to, let's see, how do I stop this thing?
So apparently we're getting some low latency. I don't know how to fix it. Stream.
Oh no.
I think it just might be the network being a poop.
Oh wow, it is. Yeah, it's all fuzzy.
Oh, are you? It's not. We're not using the Chrome share, Paul. Good point. But it's just Sync Sketch. Anyway, we'll just give it a second maybe to catch up, and we'll see how that goes. Anyway.
Very odd thing.
Yeah. So when you said Gameplay reached out to you to do this, like they reached out to you to make something, like what's the point? Like, does somebody just reach out and say, will you make us something cool? Or like, what is there like a business purpose that they reach out to you specifically to target?
It's more like they wanted to have like something to help, like more something for Samira to make her cool in more of a realistic sense rather than in-game capture.
Mm-hmm.
Because like in game, it's kind of difficult doing like camera work and camera cuts because like all the game animations and everything are designed for top down. So when you start like moving cameras around, it kind of slightly falls apart because in League, I don't know if like something that's really appealing is that all the characters kind of run around like this.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start doing camera work, it's like you're just looking at everyone like this. So it's like little things like that it's kind of hard to deal with. So when you doing it this way, like exporting like custom animations, custom cameras, rendering it on Unreal and everything, like you can kind of get handle a little bit more and get a higher fidelity.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So what other Samira stuff do you have for us?
I can show a bug that happened. So oh yeah, look, so I opened up the default thing in Unreal. When her bullets fell, they turned into bees by accident. I thought that was kind of weird. I'm not sure what caused that. They just turned into bees.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
pleasant.
Yeah, that was a nice, interesting. I think almost it took like a full day to figure out why that was happening. And yeah, I think this is this. And I think this is If I'll just This is what Samira ended up looking like.
Audio.
Yeah, this one, the audio should be fine.
Looky here, target practice.
I think that's okay. And then I can show some of the, hopefully this is the right one. Oh, file is processing. Oh my gosh.
Oh, maybe that's why things are so slow. If it's processing, it's just because we uploaded to Sketch. I'm sorry. It's my fault.
Oh, no, it's okay. Here's her. This is the, what Simone and James did a great job. Simone Blanc, James Watterson, in case you're wondering. They did an amazing job prepping the environment and setting up the skins and everything. This was like one of the first passes that of when they threw into a rendered Unreal.
Gorgeous. So somebody in chat says this is rendered in Unreal? Question mark?
Yeah, this is rendered in Unreal, real-time rendering, which really helps, by the way, because like since we're all working at home, we don't have a render farm, because usually when you're working on cinematics, you have access to something that's called a render farm. Basically, it's like a couple hundred computers, all more or less designed to render frames, and it's what kind of helps alleviate like the issue of like how long it takes to render these things out. But since it's like almost real-time rendering, the whole Samira thing, I think basically took only like a couple hours to render for everything. Like it was pretty great. I guess here's Lilia. I want to like show some of the stuff in Maya. I think that's what this is, but that's okay. Like, yeah, that was probably just me monkeying around in Maya showing like the smear thing, like what it looked like. But that's okay. This one has a little bit of Maya in it, so you can kind of see like the before and after. It's her in Maya.
I can do this.
It's her rendered out in Unreal.
I can brave the world beyond my garden.
So this isn't the game model. Like we kind of up-resed it a little bit. So like her hair is a little smoothed out. She has a little bit more robust facial controls. She's got a little bit more geo on her hands. You notice the silhouette's a little bit smoother, because usually when in the game it's like really chunky, because you need it like have it so it plays real time.
How big is the team of people working on these kind of things? It's sort of very project to project that you sort of figure things out and determine what you need, or is there a team of you that are always making these things together?
Well, I think it definitely varies, but it's very small. So Samira was 3 people. It was me doing editing, layout, animation, James doing rendering, and Simone doing rendering, and also sound support. I shouldn't just say it's 3, but we did have sound and editorial support. So, but in terms of like actually creating like assets like animation and visuals, it's basically 3 people.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, really fantastic stuff. We've got about 2 minutes left if you want to show off any other final clips or anything else you want to chat about for about 2 more minutes.
Okay. Here's Evelyn. Oh my God. I did this a long time ago. This is, I think, when I was working on Evelyn. This helps motivate her alt. Oh no, there's no sound. It's just that's actually her game model.
Nice.
I think I had her base texture, but I think I threw on a different one. Just not sure why. I think because I liked the clothing on this one.
Amazing. The little sparkle on her claws before she swipes forward is such a nice.
Sneaky. That's actually the anticipation.
I was about to say that's like a really like fantastic use of an alternative form of anticipation. Like she actually like sparks her hands out, but the little effect that sparks off of it as well, it's like so eye-catching for such a subtle motion. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, this just reminds me of playing League with you, Jason, because all you used to play is Evelyn.
Oh my God, she's so much fun. Just make people explode randomly. It's great.
All I wanted is that clip of Evelyn running on those things again.
Oh my gosh, I know. I should have snuck that in here. Is it in here? Oh no!
It's gotta be in
I know. I
every
have to
one.
like make that a theme. I know. Just sneak it in there. Have Evelyn doing the weird, her back run.
Well, Jason, fantastic stuff. I'm sorry that I messed up that one video. Everybody
Oh,
in
no,
chat,
no.
can we get rats in the chat for Jason? Amazing work from IP Creative. With tiny teams doing powerful, powerful things. Very, very cool. We are heading into another session now that with Jason and Paul Jarvis going to be talking about TFT Little Legends show and tell. Very excited. Stick around for that. We'll be back in just a minute. Catch you soon.